Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we will be adding the lap system in our game, okay? So as you know that when the car reaches the finish line, we're gonna count one lap, okay? So right here on this finish line, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a 3D cube. Let's move it to the ground like this, okay? And make sure it is right here on the finish line, okay? It should cover this whole finish line. Let me make the width as 20, or let's just say 50. Whoops. 50. Let's rotate it on 90, and let's move it right here, okay, for example. Okay, so it covers this whole area. Let's make it 15 like this. Make it S trigger, remove the mesh renderer, and this will be our finish line, okay? So whenever the opponent car or our own car touches this finish line, then we're gonna count one lap, okay? And when the number of maximum laps are completed and any car touches this, then we're gonna show the win or lose decision, okay? Let me rename this as finish and lap line, okay? Let's move this inside the important colliders. That is it. And then we're gonna move back and right here create a new folder, and let's name this folder as UI, for example, okay? And in here we're gonna create a C# script by the name of lap system, okay? Let's open up the important colliders and drag and drop this script on the finish and lap line. Now let's open this up, and right here we're gonna remove that and create a public integer by the name of maximum laps, and you can set your own maximum laps, but I'm gonna set it as 3, okay? And then we're gonna create a private integer by the name of current lap, and this is gonna be left as it is, okay? Let me close this boost pad and breaker script, and also let's close the camera follow. Now let's click on opponent car, and right here create a header by the name of lap, create a public integer by the name of maximum laps. Maximum laps for the game is 3, so we're gonna set that to 3, and the current lap will be left as it is, as we did on the lap system, okay? So just do this. Then in the start method we're gonna set the maximum laps value for all opponent cars by finding the lap system in this scene, okay? So we're gonna set the maximum laps to find object of type lap system dot maximum laps, okay? So now you can remove this 3 from here, because whenever the game start, this 3 will be passed from here to this maximum laps through this line, okay? Then we can scroll down, and let's do it right here. We're gonna create a public void increase lap, and in the increase lap we're gonna increase the lap, so we're gonna say current lap plus plus, okay? And then we're gonna debug a message in the console. We're gonna say car plus game object dot name, okay? We're gonna show the car name, so like car opponent car 1, and then we're gonna show the lap that how many laps that car has done. Okay, so we're gonna say lap and then show the current lap in the console. Okay, then we can do the same for our car controller as well. So we can just copy this and click on the car controller right here, paste it, then copy this as well, get back right here and paste it in here. Then let me actually close that script. Okay, so after this we're gonna copy the method as well, which is increase lap. Okay, and on the car controller let's paste it at the end, and right here we just gonna show the name like player car 1 lap and then the current lap of the car. Okay, let's do it for this one as well. Just remove the car from the start. Okay, so once this is set up, now let's get back to the lab system, and now whenever any car touches the lab system script game object, we're gonna increase that car laps. Okay, so right here first of all we're gonna create a on trigger enter method. Okay, and in here let's find the opponent car first of all. So opponent car will be equals to other dot get component opponent car. Okay, and let's find the car controller as well. So you're gonna say car controller, name this as player car, then other dot get component and get the car controller script. Okay, then we're gonna check that if the opponent car is not null, and if that is the case, then we're gonna say opponent car dot increase lap. Okay, this is the method which we created, and then we're gonna check the race completion. Okay, for example, if the opponent car completed 3 laps. Okay, and then after that when the car completed the final lap, we're gonna check if it completed it, and then we're gonna show you win or you lose to the player car. Okay, but for now we're gonna leave this as it is and check now if the player car is not null, and if that is the case, then we're gonna say player car dot increase lap, and then after this we're gonna check the race completion. So let's do that. First of all, let's do it for the opponent car. So we're gonna say check race completion. This will require opponent car script. Okay, and then in here we're gonna say if the opponent car dot current lap is greater than the maximum lap, then we're gonna say animation, and let's pass false to it. Okay, and actually let's first of all create this end mission method. Okay, so we're gonna say void end mission. It will require a bool. Let's name this as success. Okay, so if the player is succeed in the race, then we're gonna debug a message for now that player wins. Okay, or else we're gonna say player lose. Don't worry, we will be showing that on the screen to the player, but that will be when we will be working on the UI. Okay, for now we're just gonna show it in the console. Okay, so right here, if the opponent car wins, we're gonna pass false to end mission, and as you know, when it is false, it's gonna show player lose. And now if the player wins, then we're gonna pass true to it. Okay, so just copy this, paste it down below, and this time it's gonna be needing a car controller. And actually let's name this as player car. Okay, and in here now we're gonna say that if the player car dot current lap is greater than maximum laps, then it means the player wins. So we're gonna pass true, and when it is true, as you know, it will show player wins. Okay, simple as that. And now if we click on opponent car and scroll up, make the current lap as public, because we are fetching this on the lap system. Okay, and also do it for the car controller as well. Right here, make this public. And once you do that, get back right here. Okay, as you can see, on the finish line, the maximum laps is 3. Let's make it 1. Okay, because we are testing it out, so to check it out if it works or not. Okay, opponent car, let's select one of the opponent car, and if we start the game, you will notice the maximum laps will be equals to 1. As you can see, okay, it has fetched the maximum laps from here on the opponent car. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let uh, the opponents to win. Okay, let me stop the game, and when the opponent car reaches this point, then I'm gonna show you. Okay, and also open up the console to see the text player wins or player lose. Okay, so let's wait for them so that they reach this point. Okay, that they got into accident, but don't worry, they're gonna respawn. This car gonna respawn. As you can see, it is being respawn right there. As you can see, it is moving. Okay, so now let's wait. So the third car is now on the first position right here, and now you will notice when it reaches the finish line, you're gonna notice that as you can see, it shows opponent car 3 lap 1. Okay, and then opponent car 1 lap 1. Okay, and then when this car reaches this line, you're gonna notice it shows opponent car 2 lap 1. Okay, so now maximum lap and current lap is 1 and 1, but it didn't show the player lose or player win because it's gonna do another lap. Okay, the final lap. So let's wait for the final lap. Okay, for now the opponent car 3 is in the first position, so let's wait for them until that reaches this point. Okay, so the first car is in the on the first position, and now when it reaches the finish line, as you can see, it shows lap 2 for the other one and for this one as well. But as you know that it didn't show the player win or player lose text. Okay, so I think there is a problem with this. But if you notice now, the lap system is working. Okay, but this check race completion is not working, so let me check. So that is because we didn't call this race check race computation right here. Okay, so what we're gonna do right here, we're gonna say check race completion, and let's pass the opponent car to it, and let's do it right here as well, check race completion, and pass the player car to it. Okay, and also let's remove that from there because we are setting the maximum laps in the inspector. And also when the current lap is equals to the maximum lap, okay, not greater than the maximum lap, then we're gonna end the mission. And for now when the maximum number of laps are completed, the race will still not stop, it will keep going, because for now we don't have a main menu or anything. But don't worry, we will be adding the text, this text on the screen, and also we will be redirecting the player back to the main menu. Okay, so from there the player can join another race, but for now we will leave this as it is. So now right here on the finish and lap line, I make the maximum laps 1, and then select these 4 cars, and when we start the race, their maximum laps will be set to 1. Okay, and now let's wait for them so that they reaches the finish line. Okay, let's wait for it. Okay, so the car opponent car 2 is on the first position. Now let's see when it touches the finish line. As you can see, the current lap is set to 1, and also it shows player lose. Okay, and then when it shows the player lose, we're gonna show that text on the screen right here, and then after that we're gonna redirect the player to the main menu. Okay, and if it shows player wins, then we will do the same. But as I told you that we will be doing that when we will be working on our game UI section. Okay, but now with our lap system added, let's end this video right here.